يا رب قد ضاقت علي ملامحي وبقيت وحدي في الذنوب أعاني عظمت ذنوبي
وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كل نفس ذائقة الموت وإنما توفون أجوركم يوم القيامة فمن زحزح عن النار وأدخل الجنة فقد فاز وما الحياة الدنيا إلا متاع الغرور. صدق الله العظيم. My dear respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I see some students that are talking, and if you talk, then I'm going to bring you to the front. So that's your warning to you, and anyone I see, I'll bring you right to the front, so that you can listen to me better. So if you pay attention, I've only got about 20 minutes that I'm going to talk to you. It's not very long. I've got a very short message to give you. And when I've given you this message, after that, whatever day you've got, after that you do that, okay? So this is a very short message I'm giving you. So I don't really want anyone distracted. I can hear whispers as I'm speaking. And really, if you whisper, if I see you talking, I'm just going to kindly ask you to come to the front. So you boys and girls are studying here, and in 20 years' time, your lives are going to completely change. Today, you're at the age of whatever, between 11 and 16, or whatever your age is sitting here. So what's going to happen to you in 20 years' time is that you're going to be between 31 and 36. You're going to be in middle of life. Now, right now, you haven't even tasted what life is. Right now, what you think is you know it all. You're young blood inside you. Where there's young blood, you're very agile, you're very active. The people who are older than you, your teachers, they cannot run as fast as you. You can run faster than them. When a smartphone or a new technology comes out and is given to, let's say your father has it or your mother has it, half the times they turn to you and they say, tell me how to operate this. Come quickly, quickly do this for me on the phone. Because you're young, you're learning very fast. But let me tell you how your life's going to unfold in front of you. Your life is not going to stay the same. Right now, you are free. Although you're in the school and you've got a lot of rules and regulations, you are very free. You haven't got any work to do. You haven't got any bills to pay. There's going to come a time when you have to work yourself and you're going to have to pay your own bills. And a lot of you are sitting there thinking, nah, that's not going to happen. When I was your age, I thought exactly the same thing. You don't think about life from that end of being a person who's responsible for his own or her own house. You don't think about it like that. Right now, you have got none of those worries. You are free, you are young, and all you've been told is to study. Now study well, because when in 10 years' time, you will not be able to study. In 10 years' time, in fact in 5 years' time, some of you might not find the time to study. But definitely in 10 years' time, you won't have the time to study. Whatever you collect right now from this age till then is going to be for life. If you're lucky, you'll get a little bit of time to read after that. And what will you become tomorrow? Tomorrow, you're going to become the architects of the world. You're going to become the accountants of the world. South Africa will have a new breed of doctors, of engineers. South Africa will have a new generation replacing the older generation. I can remember when I was your age, like it was almost like a few years back. But 30 years ago, I was in your place. 30 years ago. Now, you know what happens is the moment when somebody actually says to you, they look at you and say, uncle. You know, I get called uncle now by the youngsters. And I feel awkward. Because in my mind, I'm thinking that I'm still probably young inside. But you're not young. I'm already way beyond 40. 30 years ago, I was sitting in your place. 30 years ago, I remember I had a chat with one of my older sort of senior friends in the Hifz. And he said to me, because I looked at him, and I looked at him and I laughed at him. I said, oh, you got a big beard. And he said, you're going to have a beard one day too. And I laughed at him. I said, I'm not going to get a beard like you. Now look at my beard today. 30 years ago, I remember I was thinking, marriage? Never. What? Marriage? What? No, not even on my mind. Today, I have 3 children. I have 3 children in a marriage. 30 years ago, I remember once I was sitting with one of my friends and I was saying that when I grow up, I've got my brother, I will stay with my brother, I will stay with this brother, that brother, this brother helps me. And he turned around to me, he was a little bit older than me, and he turned around to me and he said, no. He said, that's not going to happen. He said, you will become responsible for your own family. You will have your own family, your own house, your own responsibility. Today, my friends, I've got 3 brothers, I've got 1 sister. We're all separate, in separate houses, separate families, separate everything. We see each other occasionally throughout the year. And that's what's going to happen to you. You're not seeing what's going to happen to you. I'm telling you straight up, this is what's going to happen to you. Right now, you're living with all your brothers and you're living with all your sisters. In 20 years' time, you're not going to be living together. In 30 years' time, there's no way you're going to be living together. You're going to have your own homes, own families, own things to look after. Now then you're going to understand what this time was. Because whatever you collect right now, that's going to remain with you forever. My father was quite strict with me. He sent me to a boarding school. And I had to go and train to become an imam. 9 years I was in boarding. At that time, I couldn't understand it. I didn't understand it. Today, I give my biggest du'as to my father and to my mother because of what they did for me. You don't understand what your parents have done for you. What the previous generation has done for you, you don't understand. This whole area, this Roshnee area, the history of it, how they bought the land, how they got the land, how they're looking after the land, how they created this school, how they got you in here. You don't even understand any of that. You will understand in about 20, 30 years' time, when you will be in charge. Now I've got a simple message for you. Some of you sitting here are going to make a lot of money. Some of you sitting here are going to be blessed with a lot of money. Some of you sitting here are going to be blessed with a lot of fame. Some of you sitting here are going to be blessed with power. It could be power within this area, power within South Africa, or power within Johannesburg, and you will see this come true in your life. I never knew 30 years ago I would be traveling the entire world. I never knew that. I never knew that I'd be called to different countries to lecture. I never knew this. But some of you here, sitting here right now, are going to be consultants, major consultants of different firms and different parts of Africa and maybe different parts of the world. My simple message to you is this. When Allah Azza wa Jal gives you the power, the fame, the money, when He gives it to you, if you don't have one thing for yourself, you're going to destroy yourself. You need one thing. You need one thing to move on in life till your death, and you can cover your face in dignity, in honor. You know, when we die, you've seen the janaza cloth, right? You've seen the white janaza cloth that they wrap them in. Some people are wrapped in, and they're wrapped in disgrace. Because what they're going to face in the next world is going to be something they'd never wanted to see. And some people, when they cover their face, they are in honor because they're waiting to go home. Our home is not here, my friends. Our home is not here. Our home, long before us, our fathers, grandfathers, go all the way to the top. When you go to Adam alayhi salam, the first man ever to be created, where did he live? Where did he live? Come on. Everyone tell me, where did he live? Jannah. Where did our mother Hawa live? Jannah. Jannah was their home. The human home is Jannah. The human home is not this earth. Allah Azza wa Jalla said to Adam alayhi salam, when he ate from the tree, and when Hawa ate from the tree, he said, you're banished from this part, from your home, you're banished. And I'm going to send you to planet Earth. They were brought down to planet Earth. And they hated it here. This place was the most miserable place they could ever come to after Jannah. But they had to do with it. And Allah Azza wa Jal promised that if you and all your offspring, those of you who will listen to the revelation I will give and you will follow it, then you will get back to your home, which is Jannah. And those of you that don't do that, you're going to end up in another place called hellfire. It was very clear. Now that we're on this earth, Allah's going to test us by giving us certain gifts. He's going to give us honor. He's going to give us fame. He's going to give us dignity. He'll give us money. He'll give us people. You're going to make a lot of friends. A lot of people will know you as you grow up. And all of this is a blessing from Allah Azza wa Jal. The whole test is, what will you do with it? If you don't have that one thing I'm talking about, you're going to ruin yourself. Because you cannot protect yourself forever. So let me give you an example and then you'll understand. There was a king once. And the king said that he did not ever want to walk on dirt. So he told his ministers, and he told his guards, and he told his servants, he said, wherever I'm going to walk, I want it to be completely clean. So the king used to walk barefoot. He used to walk barefoot. So if he's going west, the guards, the servants will quickly clean the entire road going to the west of his palace. And he'll be able to walk on a clean surface. There's no dirt and his feet does not touch dirt. If he's going north, they'll clear the northern path. If he's going east, they'll clear the eastern path, and the southern path, path they'll clear it if he's going that way. One day, one of his ministers said one thing to him. He said, Your Royal Highness, one big request to you. He said, you've got all of us working for you to clean the path whichever way you're going. It's fine, we're doing it for you and we're happy to do it for you. But Your Royal Highness, if you were to wear some shoes, then it doesn't matter where you go, your feet will never get dirty. So he told him, and the king listened, and he got a pair of shoes. The point of the story is that if you try to protect yourself and your life and your future all the time, or if we try to do it, look, the teachers here are trying very hard to try and give you something so that later on in life, when you become the consultant, when you become the engineer, when you become the doctor, when you become the person in power, that you're able to save your own iman and you're able to save your own future life. But there's only so much we can do, so there's only so much your parents can do. What you need to do, like the king, is you need to wear your own pair of shoes. And what is that? That is your own taqwa. You need to make sure that the one thing, I will tell you the secret of every successful man and every successful woman in this world. I will give you this secret today. Maybe there might be one person here who will do this. That one person you will see, mark my words, they will be the most successful out of all of you. Maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 5 of you, maybe 10 of you will do this. And may Allah make it happen that all of you do this. Say Ameen. The secret to success of every businessman, every businesswoman, every person who's become successful in any area is what? It is called, there's something called grit. Now what is grit? Grit is when you perform again and again, you do the same thing constantly again and again in a routine, you do it over and over again, and you do it over a long period of time, you are the most successful person in any field you go into. This is from recent studies within psychology that has been done. So let me give you the difference. Some of you sitting here are gifted, talented. You use those words, gifted and talented, yes? Some of you are gifted and talented. Have you noticed that student? He never studies or she never studies, but when they come to the exam, they get marks, flying marks. Yes? Guys, you don't have students like that? You got certain students, they don't need to do any effort. They just understand the teacher there and then. Guys, listen to me. You know who they are. They understand the teacher there and then. They're ahead of their age group. Before you tell them something, they understand it. And then when it comes to the exams, they don't study as hard as you study, and yet they get the top marks. These are gifted and talented people. And you look at them today and you're saying to yourself, man, that guy is blessed from the beginning, huh? That guy, when he or she goes ahead in their life, they're going to make it, they're going to be successful no matter where they go. You're wrong. All the studies that have been done show it's wrong, wrong, wrong. Whoever's gifted here, whoever's talented here, you've got a massive challenge. Because the gifted and talented, they are like the hare. Remember the story of the hare and the tortoise? You know the story of the hare and the tortoise? Yep. A very simple story. The hare and the tortoise had a challenge. And the hare said, I'm faster than you. I'm faster than you, the tortoise. The tortoise said, well, you know, I can have a race with you. He said, but you never beat me in a race. He said, I'll try. So what happens is the animals get together and they have a race. So as they're about to start the race, they start, and the tortoise, tortoise is very slow, so he goes at his slow pace. The hare continues to go fast, leaps ahead, and then he rests. He looks at the tortoise behind him. He says, never going to catch me. So he rests. Then he takes a few more hops and he rests. What happens is the hare falls asleep. And the tortoise slowly moving ahead, comes to the finishing line, and he wins the race to the shock of the hare. That's all your gifted and talented people. All the gifted and talented people, you don't need to make effort. And that's why you've got a big challenge. You can become very lazy very quick. You can become very lazy very quick. In fact, right now, you don't need to make effort. So what happens as you're going ahead, you kind of think, well, I can do it so easily. I can do it so easily. But life, all of life is not like that. You can be gifted and talented in maths, but you're not gifted and talented in English. You can be gifted and talented in English, but you're not gifted and talented in sports. You can be gifted and talented in sports, but you're not gifted and talented in, let's say, politics or some other area. You have to understand that the world has got many people that are more smarter than you, more intelligent than you. But the man and the woman, the boy or the girl who's going to become the most successful is the one who has grit. Grit is, let me explain to you again what grit is. You put your effort, no matter how badly you fail your exams, no matter how bad you do in your tests. I'm telling you, all you lot, listen to me right now. You could be at the bottom of the class. You could be the one who everyone looks at and says, he's not going to make it in life. But if you got grit in any profession in the world, those people have become the most successful in the world. Which means what? You do the same thing again and again, and over time you become a master at your performance. Over time you have one thing, which is self-discipline. You do it again and again. That's what the king needed. The king needed to protect himself. What's his protection? Is his shoes. And now he gets no dirt going in his shoes. Those of you who have grit, who have self-discipline, who are able to make themselves sit down every day for those few hours and you study and you learn and you every day you try and do something, the same thing again and again, you'll become the most successful. If you look at any businessman in the world, from Bill Gates to Warren Buffett to any of the most successful businessmen, you know what they have? They have grit. Till today, they wake up early in the morning. That's one of the things about most successful businessmen and businesswomen across the world. They always wake up early. They're early birds. They're not late owls, night owls. They're early birds. They sleep early, they wake up early. Our religion has taught us this. We get up for tahajjud. If you don't get up for tahajjud, then at least you get up for fajr. So we are early birds. By our religion, we have been trained, we have been told to become early birds. When you wake up in the early, all these successful businessmen, businesswomen, they have a list that they have to go through for the day. And they punctual Every day they will go through the list and they will finish that. Then they will have a break for whatever they have to do. They have a discipline. It's called self-discipline. They discipline themselves. They self-monitor them. Their own selves, they have a self-monitoring system. And that's what you need to become successful in life. Those of you who are gifted and talented, I am warning you, you will fail in life because you're so bright, you're so intelligent, you think you can do what you want, but in the end, the others will take over you. And the responsibility, the final thing I'm going to say to you is this. Allah's going to give you money. A lot of you are going to have money. But Allah wants to see what you're going to do with that money. That money is not going to be yours forever. That money has been borrowed to you by Allah. So let me tell you how it works. The fees that are paid in the school, okay, by, let's say, your parents got a salary. That salary they got came from somewhere else. They worked in, let's say, in a place, let's say they're working in a clinic. The clinic also got the money from somewhere else. They made some other dealings. So wherever they made the dealings, Allah made the money go from the dealings to the clinic. From the clinic to your parents' accounts. From your parents to the school fees. From the school fees, let's say, to your teachers' salaries. From your teachers' salaries, it goes somewhere else. Money is always rotating. It's in your pocket today, it's not going to be in your pocket tomorrow. In the end of it, when you die, you leave it all behind you. No man, no woman has ever been able to take any money with them from this world to the next world. No man has ever done that. No woman has ever done that. So don't you ever think that the money is with you forever. What then happens is, the power Allah gives you is temporary. The money Allah gives you is temporary. Allah wants you to test to see what you do with the power. Do you abuse your power? Or do you use your power in a good way? Do you abuse your wealth and go into haram? Or do you use your wealth for halal? This is the big test. All of this education you're getting today is to prepare you for your life tomorrow. Tomorrow when you grow up is to prepare you for that. What will you do when Allah Azza wa Jal will give you patients in front of you and you're a doctor? How will you treat them? What kind of heart will you have? What will you do when people need the money that's in your pocket? Will you spend it onto them, or will you leave it for yourself? Will you be tight and leave it for yourself? These are all tests Allah will give you. And as you move along, my friends, the power that Allah will give you powers to bring change to the community. And I'm asking you this, you young boys, young girls, you're going to bring a difference to Johannesburg. You're going to bring a difference to South Africa. In 20 years' time, 30 years' time, I'm telling you, you're going to become leaders. Some of you are going to become big leaders on the earth. And Allah will give you that power in your hands. I want you to use that power to bring good outside there. There are people outside there that they need justice. You will give them justice. There are people outside there that are victims of racism. You will get rid of racism. There are people outside there that need a system that is going to bring them food to the table every day. You're going to help to bring that. Yes, keep your salary to yourself. Some of you, Allah's going to bless you with a lot of money. Keep whatever you want to yourself. But I'll tell you one successful thing that most businessmen and most businesswomen do across the world. And they're not even Muslim. Muslims, yes, if they do this, they'll definitely be successful. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, the top 10, you can pick them out. The top richest people in the world, you know what they say? They say, we don't know how this works. Listen to this carefully. They say, we don't know how this works. We don't know what is by giving sadaqah. So I'm asking you to do the right thing, and I'm going to summarize my entire talk. I've told you, you guys are young now. You don't understand life. In 10, 20 years' time, you're going to have your own families. In 20, 30 years' time, Allah is going to give you your own jobs. He's going to give you good salaries, inshallah. He's going to put you in positions of power, positions of having many people that come to see you. You'll have money, but remember, grit. Those of you who are continuous in your dunya, in your akhirah, self-regulation, a way of keeping yourself, motivated all the time. You do little, but you do it all the time. Like the hadith says, it says, أَحَبُّ الْأَعْمَالِ إِلَى اللَّهِ أَدْوَمُهَا وَإِنْ قَلَّ. The most beloved of actions to Allah are those actions that are small but regular. Even if they're little in quantity, but they're regular. The regular people in their efforts are those people of grit. Those of you who are talented, who are gifted, beware. You will be left behind. Those of you, doesn't matter what board you are on of the exams and the lists that come out or the marks that are given to you, you study well, you do well, tomorrow Allah will give you whatever He gives you. And once He gives it to you, please do the best to change not only Johannesburg, not only South Africa, but Africa and the world. Maybe one or another person will have the power to make a global change. May Allah Azza wa Jal give all of us the tawfiq for that. Jazakumullah khair wa akhir da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
Radio Islam International. The world is our community.